Welcome back. Mike Spence, TSPN News. I'm here with Jim McHargue, which is, I should say, who is the Solid Waste Programs Manager. And we were just talking about the relationships between the county and ACES, who is our garbage provider. And you really have a partnership with ACES. We should say that now that we're coming back have a little bit more time. It's a great partnership that you have.
Absolutely, and ACES, you know, they've been here for a long time, and they've been a local operator and provider of waste services to Amador County for a number of years, and they were a part of the initial kind of meetings and discussions to develop this rate adjustment process. We call it the RAM, Rate Adjustment Methodology. We shorten it to RAM, but ACES was in on the ground floor. So they actually helped you know, us create this process so that it's, I mean, let's face it, we want to be fair to the ratepayers, to the public out there that are paying the prices, but we also have to make sure that the garbage company is sustainable and they're able to maintain their business. So they have to be viable, and then also at the county, my responsibility is just to make sure that those things all kind of fit together and work together. So ACES has been an extremely important you know, partner in this process. And again, I want to emphasize that the reason why we're seeing garbage rates go down for the second year in a row is really due to ACES. I mean, they've streamlined their operations, they've improved their efficiencies such that we're able to see rates go down.
Well, I don't want to belittle your effort, because you've been here in Amador County for what, 10 years?
10 years now, yeah.
Working in this particular field.
That's right, yeah.
You know, solid waste programs.
Yeah.
And it takes an expert, and it's a good thing we have your expertise in making it all come together. And before that, you even spent several years in Stanislaus County.
Stanislaus County, yeah.
Doing the same type of thing.
Same
so
type
you really
of work,
are the right person for this type of thing. You know, we have a lot of these e-waste programs and recycling programs. I saw that the schools had titled, they came up with a name for the recycling guy. I couldn't think of what I can't remember.
The Recycle Ricky.
Recycle Ricky.
Recycle Ricky. Yeah, that was a program we did in the schools.
Yeah, that was a good program. I've been watching the schools, you know, and a lot of their, you know, waste and the programs that they have initiated, and they still have those containers for all those meals and all the styrofoam stuff. I wish there was a way of recycling that and having people pick that up. That's still going into the garbage. You know, there are a lot of little programs. I'd like to make a little list for you and take you around, because there are a lot of bulk, you know, things that are being thrown away, especially in the schools and things that I don't know where that styrofoam could be. You know, those boxes, you know, the take-to-go boxes and things like that. They probably throw away several hundred. Of those a day. Yeah,
and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because years ago I looked into recycling styrofoam here in the county, and it really comes down to a cost-benefit analysis of it. And the problem with styrofoam is it takes so much. I mean, think about it. You can have a truck loaded with styrofoam. Literally, you've got a couple pounds.
Right.
I mean, seriously. So the cost that it takes to get that material and to be able to truck it to a market is sometimes prohibitive, and that's a shame. But what I would like to see happen, and this has always been a goal of mine, is to see more recycling-based businesses set up shop here in the county. Because if we had a place, let's say for sake of argument, we had a recycling remanufacturing plant set up shop here in the county, we could then funnel all that material directly to them. They could then create a new feedstock material that then could go to make park benches or picnic tables, or you know what I mean. So there's that loop that we refer to in recycling, the closed loop with the 3 arrows. You know, that's the loop that they're talking about. But it would be located right here in the county, and that's a long-term goal of mine. Yeah,
that's a good goal to have. You know, you see those materials, and it is unfortunate. You know, you can't get all of it. But you know, I know there's a recycling center at the dumps in Pine Grove, but there's also one at the market at Claypool's Pine Grove Market.
That's right.
And then where are the other where do people bring their recycling throughout the county? Are there other main areas?
Well, there's a fairly large recycling facility up on Academy Drive, up in what would you call that, Sutter Hill, Martell area, and that's Recycle and Scrap It. It's a private business, but they do a fantastic job, so people can take the recycling there. The beverage container recycling is located in a lot of the grocery store parking lots. So Rayleigh's has one here in Jackson.
Oh, Rayleigh's, that's right.
Yeah, the market down in Ione has one. Plymouth, Pokerville Market has one. You're right, up in Upcountry area has one. So we have a number of the different beverage containers. Where, by the way, you can get 5 cents for each one of these.
Now that you mention it, they come to mind. I was thinking there must be more throughout there.
Yeah, but then there's some other places like some people don't know, but Foothill Garage and Wrecking in Plymouth. They do a tremendous amount of recycling. Their business is automobile wrecking, which when you think about it, that's a recycling-based business. They're taking wrecked vehicles and they're extracting all the value out of it and the metals and such. But they do appliances, they do all kinds of metals, they do oil filters, batteries, all kinds of recycling up there. So there's a number of different
when people have the waste like paint and oils and things like that, if the paint can is completely empty, can I throw that? I'm always wondering, should I just pretend that it's full and recycle it and drop it off exactly like a full paint can, or because it's empty and it's just a can, I can throw it in the
That's a great question, and as long as the paint is dry and no longer liquid, then it can go right into the garbage, because if the paint, some people even take an old tarp and they'll pour their paint out in the sun and let it dry up, and then once it's on that in a dry state, it's no longer considered hazardous material. But if you have paint cans that have paint, or thinners or solvents or stuff, definitely bring that in. You do not want to throw that away, because that is a hazardous material, and we do not want that to get into the waste system.
Did I read somewhere, Jim, that it costs 75 cents per can?
That's right.
Or something.
Per gallon. That's that started, I believe, about a year ago.
So I'm going to pour it all out onto the tarp, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty high cost for.
Well, and actually, so when you buy a can of paint, you're paying 75 cents up front, and when you go to the paint store, you'll see that charge on there. A lot of people don't know what it is, but it's considered an advanced disposal fee. So what that did is that allowed paint stores like Kelly Moore, here in the county, they will accept your paint also, free, no charge. So if you have, 5 gallons of leftover old paint, you could take it right into Kelly Moore today, and they're going to accept it at no charge, because that's what you're paying, that 75 cents a gallon.
Oh, you've already paid in advance.
You've already paid.
I thought it was after.
Not on the disposal.
No, I thought it was on the disposal end. Yeah, I was wondering. That seemed like counterintuitive.
No, you're paying it up front, so that system's in place.
Shows you how much I know about e-waste or.
Well, we could talk. We could probably go on for.
I just replaced my Mac, and I had the old system there, and my daughter says, "No, don't throw that out. I'm going to take it to the e-waste program."
Good.
So you're always having programs and different days that
different
you
dates,
collect different things.
Yeah, and again, I just encourage people to call me at the county 223-6429. I'm going to have pretty soon a tire recycling day. Old tires. People tend to collect tires. Again, that's considered a material that we do not want to go into the waste stream. So I usually set up at the airport road in the gravel parking lot adjacent to the airport there on a Saturday, and people bring their tires in. Everybody's allowed to transport by law 9 tires, no more than 9 tires. So I encourage people to only bring a maximum of 9 tires per load. But we do free recycling.
I've got a couple of old tires.
Well, you'll have to bring them in.
I'm not a collector. I collected them out of the creek, For some reason, people just throw things, down into the creek bed, and tires just happens to be one of those things. I can't imagine.
We find a lot of them like that.
And so I've stacked them on the road. along the creek. Hopefully one of my neighbors or someone will take the initiative, but now that I know there's a day, I'll keep that in mind, make sure we collect those.
That's right. You'll see some information being advertised as far as the exact date and time for that, but I usually do 1 or 2 of those a year for the tires. The e-waste, we collect that any day of the week, either in Pine Grove or at Buena Vista, no charge. Oil, we have a number of oil recycling centers throughout the county: Pine Grove, Buena Vista, Foothill Garage in Plymouth. We have, as I said, we've got them at the ATI Auto Parts, both in Pine Grove and in Martell. We've got an oil tank there where people come in, self-service, drop their own oil.
It's amazing how much e-waste there is. That one in Pine Grove, that container is just always, I'm always looking at people's TVs. Some of them are, they still have the 50-inch big box TVs coming out, but
these flat panel TVs and computer screens have generated a tremendous amount of waste. So, and what I've noticed, there's kind of been a trend almost towards disposable electronics these days. If you notice, we're constantly getting new phones, we're constantly getting iPads and laptops, and so it's really generated a lot of waste material.
Yeah, well, that is when you see it, it's staggering in terms of how much is there, and you keep thinking, that thing looks like it works. I just want to plug it in somewhere and give it back another couple of years of life. I took that Apple thin flat screen. I made that thing when I brought it in to replace it. They looked at it like it was a dinosaur, and it was
I know.
It might have been 5 or 6 years old. It wasn't
That's
that old, but some of that stuff you just want to get the most out of it. Well, I didn't think this was going to be that interesting of an interview. Solid waste programs. I mean, I know nothing about that, Jim.
And garbage rates going down again for the second year in a row.
That's great news for us, Jim. I want to thank you for
Mike, good seeing you,
coming on the news and giving us some good news for a change.
Absolutely.
So thanks for watching, and please stay tuned to more TSPN TV programming.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.